White Fragility, Amazon's #1 bestseller, New York Times #1 bestseller, sold out in libraries across the United States, and actually, the paperback edition is sold out on Amazon as well. White Fragility by DiAngelo. Have you heard of it? If not, I'm glad you're here. Let's take a look. DiAngelo's White Fragility is sold as a roadmap to combat racism. Yeah, nice, right? However, the core message of White Fragility, in my opinion, is this. There is no such thing as universal human experience, and we are defined not by our individual personalities, not by our moral choices, but only by our racial category. And if you're white, you are inherently racist. And it's pretty obvious. Even CNN picked up on it. My two main issues with this book are that first, it's a logical fallacy, meaning you can't disprove it. And second, it literally says all white people are racist. First point, all white people are racist. DiAngelo actually says that people must try to be less white and claims that all people are invested in and collude with racism. She proves this ridiculous argument by giving ridiculous anecdotes, which you should never do. You should never prove your argument with anecdotes that happened to you. But let's look at some of the anecdotes she provides. She says that her friends bought a house in a neighborhood and called her and told her that they immediately bought a gun and Jung was afraid to leave the house at night. DiAngelo later says that she immediately knew it was a black neighborhood. That's racist. Nobody mentioned race here but you. You're the one equating minorities with crime. She's claiming that a person cannot point out that a neighborhood is crime-ridden if that neighborhood is predominantly a minority neighborhood. That's ridiculous. One thing does not equal the other, unless you're DiAngelo and you're not the actual racist. Now, let's hear DiAngelo talk about white people's inevitable racism.
Okay, so what if you could just give us feedback on our inevitable and often unaware racist assumptions and behaviors? And I'll never forget this black man raising his hand and saying it would be revolutionary. And you know, just take that in. I just want all the white people to just take that in. Revolutionary.
Did you catch that? Revolutionary.
That we would receive the feedback with grace, reflect, and seek to change our behavior. That's how difficult we are.
Wow.
That's how big a-holes we are.
Wow. 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 Second point. Why is DiAngelo's argument a fallacy? Simply put, she constructs her argument in a way that cannot be disproven. The book claims that white people hate blackness because of what it reminds them of. White people can commit irreparable harm to minorities for their own benefit. Therefore, whenever a white person is confronted with their racism, they will either accept it or deny it. If they deny it, they are showing defensiveness and uncomfortableness, aka they are exhibiting their white fragility. This is a ridiculous argument because it is a catch-22. It's a lose-lose situation. Similar to the witch trials, where they would try women by ordeal by water. Tie them up, throw them in the river. If they drown, what a shame. If they float, witches, we gotta kill them. Lose-lose. DiAngelo also takes things to an extreme. She explains that during one of her diversity training sessions that she was providing for a company, for thousands of dollars by the way, a white woman began to cry and DiAngelo had to ask her to step out. Why, you may ask yourself? Well, DiAngelo claims that white women tears are racist. Yes, I'll repeat it in case you thought you heard me wrong. DiAngelo says white women tears are racist. Why, you may ask yourself? Well, she actually implies that when a white woman cries in front of a black man, the white tears remind black men of instances of such as Emmett Till, where an innocent black man was falsely accused of rape by a crying white woman and was subsequently lynched. An awful situation, but I'm willing to bet that nobody today, no black guy today, sees a white woman crying and immediately is taken to a situation of Emmett Till where he's going to be lynched. Additionally, she then claims that if a black man then goes to aid a white woman who is crying, then he has sort of been brainwashed by the patriarchy and is also a sexist. Another beautiful example DiAngelo is so kind to provide to us is that if you have a black friend and you haven't talked to him about racism, then you're a racist. But If you have a black friend and you ask him about racism, then you're a racist because you assume that he talks for all black people. As I mentioned earlier, this book is a New York Times bestseller, Amazon bestseller. Educators and politicians are reading it and praising it left and right. We can already see the damage that it's doing in our education with the fight that happened in New York's 2nd District community education camps.
It hurts people when they see a white man bouncing a brown baby on their lap and they don't know the context. That is harmful. That makes people cry. I take that to heart and that hurts me. And I have to learn to make how to be a better white person.
I would like
You
to know
don't have
before
people
this meeting
telling you
adjourns-
that.
I would like to know before this meeting adjourns how having my friend's nephew on my lap was hurtful to people and was racist. Can you please explain?
Tom, I've explained it to you. You can Google, you can read a book. Read a book. Read Ibram Kendi. Read White Fragility.
Yikes! Did you catch that? Read White Fragility. And all this was because the guy was holding his friend's nephew on his lap. What a racist. Lastly, DiAngelo's incredibly racist anti-racist book talks about whites and blacks but forgets to mention Asians. What about Latinos, like myself? Or would you think I was white? Racist. Like, comment, and subscribe, or you're a racist. Ginger out.
No, I'm not a racist. I am the least racist person you have ever interviewed. That I can tell you.